So, yeah, very lovely Murli today. But before that, I want to share some stories. And I want to share some stories about Vishwa Ratan Dada and also Chandras Dada. So let me begin with Vishwa Ratan Dada. So Vishwa Ratan Dada was one of our most senior brothers who came in the beginning. And his story is that he came, but how he came, he heard a lot of anti-news. And so he kept wondering that there's so much bad news about them, and yet they're not closing. The government is not closing the institution. So why is it that people keep going there? And so can you believe the bad press made him want to inquire? And so in those days, you had to make an appointment. So you take an appointment, they give you the date and the time to come, and you come, and then you do the course. Yeah, so as usual, first day soul, then supreme soul. And then if you finish the course, then they give you a permit. And this permit enables you to come every day, regularly to the classes. And he said in those early days, it was not Baba giving classes, it was the senior sisters. But he had seen Baba also once or twice, just in passing. And Baba comes from somewhere or something. So Baba used to give the sisters the points. The sisters would then churn those points and repeat those, and that was the class. So when he had seen Baba, he had just felt like, this is amazing, this, like his personality is so amazing. Like, everybody who talks about Baba. And like we say in Hindi, ek jhalak, instead of ek jhalak Baba ki, one glimpse of Baba, and they were touched and impressed. So anyway, then he continued coming regularly. And he said, of course, people were coming more and more. And then he started to do seva. And he was working in the literature department. So in the evening, him and his friend, another brother, not friend, like another soul, another male brother would come, and they would help in the literature. Now, the thing is that at home, he didn't tell his parents, because this bad news was all over Sindh, right? It was all over Sindh that there's this Om Mandli, and the anti-party had written many bad things in the newspapers. And so then he thought, I don't want to tell my parents in the beginning, in case they stop him from going. So finally, after 2-3 months of going, he thought, okay, let me tell my parents. So he told his parents, and he said, I'm going, and it's very nice, and why don't you come? And they said, no, we are not coming. We are not setting foot in that place. And he said, okay. And he continued going. Then another 2-3 months, he said, there's so much Shanti. It's so lovely. You will benefit a lot. Again, they said no. And mostly they were saying no because of public opinion. Like we say, in Hindi, loklaj. They were now afraid what others would think of them. And then he said, you believe me, no? You have faith in me? And they said, of course. We know that you would not just go to any institution. So he said, okay, if you have faith in me, then I want to tell you that everything that is written about them in the newspapers is all wrong. So galat hai. And they're not like that. You get a lot of Shanti, and the Kumaris and the mothers have very pure drishti, and it's nothing like what they write. And they said, no, we are not coming. Okay. Then that time he said, okay, you know what? I'm telling you now, that one day I will go there. If you don't join me, then I will go there. And they thought he's playing, like they always think this will last a few weeks and that's it. Huh? Thoda samay chalenga wapas. Okay, then he continued going whilst living at home, right? And then after that, again, 2-3 months later, he said, think about it. If you follow with me, then I can stay at home. And we can do this together. You belong to God and I belong to God and we can do it together. If you don't, then I cannot stay because this is a worldly house, sansari ghar hai, and I want to belong to God and it doesn't match. And they said, no, no, we are not going there. Nothing could shake them. And then he decided to tell Mama, I want to surrender. I want to move into this place. So Mama took his full, report of his circumstances, what's going on in his life. And then Mama said, okay. So actually him and that other brother who was helping in the literature, they both decided they want to move and Mama said, okay. So then he told his mother, he said, okay, you know what? Tomorrow I'm leaving. And I'm going to stay there. I'm going to dedicate my life to them. And he said, still, I'm giving you one more chance. If you want me to stay, I can earn, I can work, I can earn, and I can look after you, but you have to follow this path. And again, they said no. So then the next day they knew that he's leaving. And so what did they do? They locked up his clothes in a suitcase. In those days, it's not little suitcase, a big trunk, like you have on the floor. And then they locked all his clothes and they thought, if he doesn't have clothes, how will he go? So then he remembered he had given one set of clothes to the laundry. So he went by the laundromat and he picked up one pair and he left. Actually, at that time, they said, what? And he said, I already told you, I've been telling you that I will leave you one day. And then again, they thought he would come back. Anyway, he had a bicycle. He went on his bicycle. Then he came back after 2 weeks. He said, I'm still giving you a chance. If you want to come, I can come back. I can earn, I can work, look after you. We can practice this gyan together. They said, no. Okay. And then so then he went. Then he came back after 2-3 months. And then he said, okay, finally, I'm leaving. Actually, after the 2 weeks, they gave him back his clothes because they said, if you're going, then what's the point? Then after 2-3 months, he came back and again, they said no. He said, okay, now I will not come back. And that was that. Then he said, because his connection broke from the house, then he started to become closer to Baba. And because he started to become closer to Baba, then Baba started to give him duties. Actually, I forgot one other point. One other point is that, two other points. One other point is that from childhood, he had been saved from many deaths. And once he fell from the building on the 4th floor, and he said, imagine if somebody falls from the 4th floor, what happens to them? They die, no? But he said, you're seeing me sitting here, no? So he said he fell, he became unconscious, 3-4 hours, he's lying there. He broke some arm. And then after 3-4 hours, he became conscious. And then his parents came looking for him. Then a second time, he drowned. He said, there's a lake in front of our house. And so I went out. He's only like 6-7 years old. He went playing. It was a Sunday. He went playing. And then there was a mother washing some clothes on the stone. So she said, have you had a bath? And he said, no. She goes, come, have a bath. And he said, but I haven't brought a towel. She goes, I'll give you a towel. But the thing is that he went, and then she's still busy washing her clothes, and she doesn't realize he's slipped in the water. And another mother came just by chance to wash her clothes. वो अपनी पोटली लेके आई, the bundle of clothes. She thought, okay, before I just think the drama. So she thought, before I start washing my clothes, let me just wet my face and cool down a little bit. So she went to the water and to just, get some water from in her palm to wash her face. Now, as she put her hand in, then he was going like this, and he caught her hand. And she thought that it's a crocodile. She thought it's a crocodile. And so with all her force, she pushed the hand away. Anyhow, somehow he got hold of her leg, and then he saved himself, came up, and she said, oh, it's you. And she also knew these are all mothers from the neighborhood. And she said, what are you doing here? And he couldn't speak. He was vomiting the water. Anyway, his life he vomited, and he put on his clothes and he ran. And he said, every time I came back with some of this experience, my mother would say, only God can save you. Only God can save you. And so he said, for me, I also felt like only God can save me. And so I started to have that faith that maybe God wants to use me later. Yeah, so then this is the other story. So then his father was a teacher, and they lived between Hyderabad and Karachi. Not in Hyderabad, not in Karachi. There's a district in between. So his father was a teacher there, and the government moved him to Karachi. And he said, if my father hadn't been shifted, I would never meet Baba. So that was another fluke in the drama. So then he started studying, they moved there, and that's how he came across, hearing this news. Okay, so now he's in the center with Mama and Baba. His connection is becoming closer and having full faith. Then Baba had put him in another house where the brothers stay with other brothers. And the thing is that there are a few other families staying in that building, and one mother used to heat up the water. Now, the thing is that she used to heat up the water later for bathing. So he thought, I wake up early, why don't I heat up the water? So that I get water, and then, it's a duty I take up. So then he started doing that. He told the mother. And then Baba found out that he's doing this duty. So then Baba said, come, child. What time you wake up? And he said, I wake up 4 o'clock. And what do you do? And he said, I heat up the water. And then Baba said, can Baba give you another duty? And he said, of course, Baba. So then Baba said, okay, you take your cycle, and then you go to the senior sisters' bhavan. You pick up like these 2 big, like they have for the milk, big containers, silver containers. You take that, and you go and get 80 pounds of milk cream from the milkman, wherever that is, and on the cycle, and you drop it off there. So then he did that for 10, 15 days. And in between, Baba would phone, and Baba would take his report. That what is he like? Does he do it on time? What is his, interaction with the sisters? Is it okay? Is it polite? And so he got a good report. Then Baba called him again after 15 days. And Baba said, but can Baba give you another duty? And he said, yes, Baba. So then Baba said, okay, every day you go and you get vegetables from the Sabzi Mandi. So when you go and get the milk, you order the veggies, let them drop it off at the senior sister's house, and you come back. And he said, okay, Baba. And so in this way, Baba gave him 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, he says, duties. And he fulfilled them. And he said, never, 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 he said no to Baba. And then Baba started having the faith also that whatever this child is given, he will fulfill that duty. Okay, then what happened is he had to, Baba had to now have a policeman because the situation was worsening and people were turning up and. So Baba said, it's good if we have a policeman on the gate. And so Baba called Vishwa Kishore Dada and said, okay, I want you now to get a policeman to guard this bungalow. And then Vishwa Kishore Dada said, but Baba, it shouldn't be outside police. It should be one of our brothers because we cannot trust anybody. And you know how the situation was very heated. Everybody was mad, angry, families were upset. And so they could bribe the policeman, any policeman, outside policeman. So Baba said, okay, you take him. That was Vishwa Ratan Dada. You take him and you make him into a policeman. So Vishwa Kishore Dada, Vishwa Ratan Dada, they went to the police superintendent. And they said to him, we have come here to have a policeman. And he said, sure, there's plenty. Take as many as you want. And Bahu said, no, we cannot have one from outside. You know what the situation is like. I want you to make him a policeman. And he said, how is that possible? Ye kaise ho sakta hai? And he said, the policeman has to take training for 1 year. And after that, then his name comes in the registry. And then after that, he gets all his things, his badge and all his clothes. And again, Vishwa Kishore Dada explained to him that, look, we know, but you have to help us. And they said that he was nice, he was a good policeman. And so he said, okay, come, let me put your name in this registry. And so his name was put in the registry, and then he started to pull out the clothes for him, the policeman's dress, uniform. And then Vishwa Kishore Dada said, no, we can only have a new dress. We cannot have him wear a used one. Or used Purana. So then he took out new and he gave everything new. The uniform, the shoes, the socks, the stick, everything. And then he's looking for a new turban. The policemen there, they wear these turbans. And Vishwa Kishore Dada said, no, we can give him a hat and he can use the hat. Don't bother about that. He said, okay. So they came back and Vishwa Kishore Dada said, here, Baba, you have a policeman now. And so then outside Baba's compound, they put a table and a chair, and he sat there and he continued doing his literature duty that he was doing before, because he's sitting all the time, right? So he said, I was doing double duty. Then what happened one day, and of course his accommodation, they gave him just there in Baba's compound. So imagine there's the garage like we have, and on the top there was a room. And so he's staying there at night. Then one day what happened is Bholi Dadi, right? So Bholi Dadi from the kitchen. So she ran away from her husband. She came with her daughter. And again, Baba never kept them with him. Baba kept them in different houses. And so she was staying somewhere else. But now her husband came. And she had a daughter, right? She's still there in Madhuban, Miraben. So she came with her daughter, and then the husband is mad. And the husband has brought 4 or 5 policemen with him, and he's brought a warrant that we're going to take Baba now. So can you believe they came at the gate, and Vishwa Ratan Dada said, hello, how can I help you? And you know Vishwa Ratan Dada. Did anyone see him? No. Oh, he's very cool, very calm, very royal, very gentle person, Remember this? I will explain after. So very gently, calmly, he asked them, can we help you? And they said, here's a warrant. We come to take Baba. He said, okay, wait, I'll go and tell him. So he went upstairs to Baba and Bhau had already known this was happening. So Baba had sent Vishwakishore Dada is Bhau, had sent him to get a staying order, which means to counter this warrant. So Baba said, you be nice to them, entertain them, and, let them wait until Bhau comes back. So he went down, he said he's getting ready, he will come, right? Then half an hour passed and he said, look, where is he? He's not here. And Dada said, well, he was just starting to eat, so maybe he's finished now and he will get ready and come. And luckily, this is how the time passed. And then Vishwaratan Bhau came, Vishwakishore Dada came. And he asked, yes, what's the problem? They said, we have a warrant. And so Bhau said, and we have the staying order. And he gave them that piece of paper. And they said, see, this man, he was our obstacle. Otherwise, we could have taken Baba, right? Pointing to Vishwaratan Dada. And then in the next morning's paper, they printed that he was very hostile and he was very angry. And this is not, Vishwaratan Dada's nature at all. Care, okay. And then that passed. And of course, continuing with the studies and all that and duty upon duty. And he said he was busy from 4 a.m., still heating the water every day till 10 p.m. And he said no rest in the day. And now every day Baba was having more and more faith in him that whatever you give him, he gets it done. Now, this is the other important thing. So then one day, Sakar, and that's the thing, Baba lived in his bhavan, and he used to come daily to the senior sisters' bhavan, and he used to give class, and all the other people from the bhavans would come there to have the class, and then Baba would leave. That day when Baba came, then Baba said that Baba has brought a message from Avyakt Baba. And Baba said that Vishwaratan, Shiv Baba said that Vishwaratan has to make a picture of the tree. And actually, Shiv Baba showed Brahma Baba there in the Satu region a picture of the tree, this human world tree that we have, and he has to make it. Okay? And so Baba asked him, will you make it? And again, he never says no. So he said, okay, Baba, Ji Baba. And then Baba told Mama, free him from all his other duties. Because you can see he had so many duties. So then Mama called him after class and said, what are your duties? And Baba then freed him from that, and Mama gave the duties to other brothers. Then he went away, and then, Mama also asked him, what do you need? So she gave him a table and paper and pencil, whatever he needed. Because Mama used to take care of that side of things. Then he started thinking. And then he, kind of cut the paper into, like 4 parts. So golden, silver, copper, iron, and this way, this is right, this is left. He started to explain this. And he said, I took all the knowledge that Baba gave me. And Baba said that the Supreme Soul is the seed, so he put him there. And then he thought, but if I put leaves, then you cannot see the writing. So where do I put the leaves? So then he said, okay, let me put the leaves on the edge. And he kept the branches free so that we could write, right? Abraham starts the Islamic religion, Buddha starts the Buddhism, etc. So in this way, he divided it, and this is another thing, right? So he put, if you look at the tree, all the religions from the West are on the left side, right? So Abraham on the left, right? Buddhism from the East on the right, Christ then on the left, and then Shankaracharya from the East, right, on the right, and Guru Nanak, and something else. Judaism, I think. And then anyway, bit by bit like this, everything Baba had said, he starts putting. And when he felt it was good enough, he took it to Baba. And Baba said, oh, very nice, Shabazz, well done. And then Baba looks and he thinks, and Baba says, where is Brahma? We need to put Brahma here. So put Brahma here. Baba said, and he said, okay, Baba, I go and do. And every time he said, I go and do. In this way, Baba said, put Mama. You cannot have Baba without Mama. But then who says Baba Mama? The children. So you need to have children. And now this is a very important piece of information. He said, Baba, there are so many children. Which children we will put? And Baba said, Baba talks about the 8. So let's put 8. 4 on this side, 4 on this side. And he said, Baba, which 8? If you give me their names and pictures, I can stick them there. So Baba said, okay, Baba will tell you tomorrow. In the meantime, Baba sent Santri Dadi into trance and asked Baba, we're doing this picture, as you said, and we want to put these children's names and pictures. Which one shall we put? And Baba sent the message. And this is the first time I'm hearing this, actually. So it was Didi Manmohini, Brijendra Dadi, Bhau, Vishwa Ratan Dada, Vishwa Kishore Dada and Vishwa Ratan Dada, Dadi Prakashmani, Shantamani Dadi, Dhyani Dadi, and Brij Shanta Dadi. These were the 8 names that Baba gave, but they are the 8. Amazing, huh? But I don't know. Things could have changed since then. I don't know. But this was then, okay? Okay. Yeah, because anyone who comes after could have gone ahead of them, no? Anyone, like even now, people break records. We say, oh, he broke the mile, but somebody comes in and does better, right? So anyway, at that time, it was this. And so then he put their pictures and he came back and he loved it. And then Baba said, very nice, beautiful. And Baba kept saying, okay, now add golden age, now add palaces of the golden age, now add silver age. Now where the leaves are, you have to put some followers of the prophets. So put some faces there. So every detail, Baba has put there. And okay, very quickly then Baba said he wants 12 copies in 10 days. Now, in those days, they don't have, it's large. No, it's not like you can just photocopy. And Baba wants 12 copies. He said he wants to send to 12 ministers. And then he thinks, even if I do this manually, I can only do 5 or 6 in 10 days. I cannot do more. So again, he went to Mama and he said, Mama, Baba's asked me to do it. So Mama said, to karo na? Like, do it. And he says, and she said, what do you need? He said, I need help. Mama said, okay, the brothers cannot help. They are busy with your duties and shopping and, so you can have sisters, but they are not artists. And he said, okay, give me 5, 6 sisters. I will teach them. So Mama gave him 5, 6 sisters, gave him a big room. And again, he was quite smart, so he was given these big tables, but he took the table off. And instead, he put glass on the top. Okay? Then he put the picture that he had made. He had made 2 pictures. So he put on each table. Then he put light from underneath so that when you put tracing paper, you can see it clearly. So he got one sister to trace the pictures. Then he got another sister to put the leaves and color the leaves. And in this way, he gave each one a duty. And he was focusing on the features of the prophets. And all the prophets, all the messengers. And they worked, 10, 12 hours a day, and they completed it and gave it to Baba as on time. Then there was another thing that Baba asked him to do. Baba said, look, in 3 days, I need this picture of the globe. And but I couldn't quite understand it. But anyway, basically, they needed some kind of a round picture with some white writing with a black background. And they wanted it like a block, I think, to make a block printing. And again, he thought, how can I do this? And then again, he went to Mama. Then again, Mama gave him two sisters. He said, I can't, I'll be at one end, so only two at the other end, because it's just here. They're working on, I think, some wooden block. And so then he asked for Lachu Dadi and Richanta Dadi. And so they worked. And he said, for 3 nights and 3 days, he didn't sleep. First day, he worked on his own, trying to, do the design. Then he called them. And they also, 2 days, 2 nights, they didn't work. And Monday morning, 4 o'clock, it was finished. And then they showered and they came to class. And he said, Baba just asked, like, let me ask to see if he has done this or not, and if he can hurry up. And Baba called him, and Baba said, do you remember I asked you to do something? And he said, yes, Baba, it's done. And Baba was shocked. And Baba said, really? And he went to get it. And then he said, how? And he said, well, I wasn't alone. I had the help of these sisters. We stayed up all night. And the other thing I want to point out, that he kept saying that if Baba has given me this task to do, then Baba must know that I can do it. And if Baba knows I can do it, then Baba will also teach me how to do it, and Baba will also help me how to do it. And so he said, I just kept having that faith that Baba has given it to me to do, and I'm doing it. And then he said, Baba was so pleased, so happy. And that is when Baba spoke a very powerful Murli on what it means to be, obedient and faithful and honest and trustworthy. Agyakari, Wafadari, very powerful Murli on that. And how you can sit and win Baba's heart from. And so basically, this is how it continued. And then he finishes by saying that all you need to do is just keep Baba in your heart. Just keep Baba with you all the time. And, Baba's there. And he said, if Baba's with you, then how can you? And actually, I think Wednesday or Thursday, yesterday or Wednesday. Yesterday, Baba was talking about lighthouse, no? I really like that point, that if you are the lighthouse, then you are in the light. And so where there is the light, there is no sin. And so it's like that. If Baba, the supreme light, is with you, then there is no sin. Okay, I know time is going, so I just want to tell you I'll tell you now just one story of Dada Chandra's. And so the story is just one quick, very touching. But the thing is, again, he had a lot of difficulty in coming to Baba and a lot of obstacle, even though he was distantly connected to Baba. Like he was Kripalani, Baba was Kripalani. He's somebody, his mama was related or something to Baba's family. Anyway, but his family wasn't happy that he was coming. And then they were beating him and making it difficult for him. And he was very young at the time. And can you believe Baba came to him in his dream? Baba came to him in his dream, and Baba asked, child, are they beating you? And he said, yes, Baba, they are beating me. And Baba said, okay, Baba will give you a yukti. And what was the yukti? Baba told him to write a letter. And so he sat next day writing a letter. And then they saw him writing. And then he folded the letter and he just put it there by the quilt. And so his family got curious, what is this letter? So they went to have a look, and he had written this letter to the collector, like some authority figure. And the letter was that this is my family, they're beating me. And if something happens to me, if I die tomorrow, then you know that it's them, So of course, Baba had told him to write, but not to send the letter. But in this way, just to, threaten them. And so when they saw this letter, they got so scared that, yes, what if something happens to him? And so they stopped beating him. Can you believe this is how he said Papa was guiding us in our dreams?